I'm speaking randomly. I do just want to document how I feel. I want to document how I'm talking because they're hitting my spine. I feel a little bit better. I woke up at 3:30. I was having like a lot of dreams. I think what happens is I'll have regular dreams, and then they'll sit there throwing crap into them. Like they'll throw images into them, like microwave images into them. And so I'll really, and then when I wake up, they start playing back the dreams because they've recorded the dreams. And then they start playing them back when I'm awake. Like right when I wake up, I guess the brain is in some kind of theta state where they can more easily loop images back in. So it's pretty intense. Like it's intense, and the reason why I bring that up, I bring Omni Eris up. And this will be good. Like, go to his channel and look at what he's saying about us, and leave comments. I kind of want to get into that kind of like people who don't believe this. People who are looking at certain examples of it. I'd like to say their names, and have them maybe put my videos on trying to discredit me because I speak about it logically because it's happening and it's murdering my family. So, like, I this is really important to me, and I'd kind of like to kind of not throw it, like, because I really do. I like the guy. Like, he's funny, and he really doesn't think it's happening. At first, I was like, man, this guy, he's got to have an agenda. This guy, he's doing it because he knows targeting exists, and he wants to discredit us. And then I looked at some of his other stuff, and I was like, no, this guy really doesn't believe it's happening. And he really was a conspiracy theorist, and he doesn't want people to fall into that category and have bad lives. I want to tell him and others like him, and I just use him as an example, and I don't think he'll mind, is why I do that. I usually don't say people's names on my videos, who haven't given me permission, but the guy won't mind. Like I have some subscribers. You can go look at his channel and what he says about target individuals, the examples he uses, and kind of say, wow, I'm not like that. I don't go up to every person and think they're targeting me or whatever. But I kind of want to get everybody involved, even people who don't believe in this. If they don't believe in it for a good reason, like I would be willing to talk to them. I think we all have to do that. It's so important. Like, this really is happening. It really is happening, and there's just technology now that's almost like sending a wireless signal to a modem, but they're just doing it with human beings, and it really, really hurts. And it can really do weird things to the mind because they have certain things like electromagnetic frequencies. They pinpointed a biofrequency in you. Or there are actually chips that can be implanted with needles. Like, they're so small. So this stuff does exist. I've studied it. I'm studying it more, and I'm going to go get checked out because I've had colonoscopies, dental work, stomach surgeries, and it seems like a lot of weird stuff happened around that time with my Crohn's doctor in Texas. Like, he was doing a ton of colonoscopies on me. All he would have had to do is like take one of these little small chips and implant it behind the ear, and he may have not even known. And once again, I'd like to say, because it's good to listen to somebody like Omni Eris because I know how to explain it. It's not a big conspiracy where the doctor was like, New World Order, this guy's going to be microwaved in the future. We're going to start doing a bunch of weird stuff to him. It's not like that. It's like these doctors are RFIDing people for government programs, and they don't know that these people are going to be hurt. They don't know. He didn't know that I was going to be hurt. Somebody may have come to him and said, hey, we need to, put a chip in this guy because he's dangerous or something like that, and we're just going to track him. We're just going to track where he is. We're not even going to surveil him. We're just going to track him to know where he goes. Like, it can be stuff like that, and these doctors don't know what are in these chips, and they just do a little, they take a little needle and do it right behind your ear or, in the top of your spine or something like that, because these little RFID chips are so small. They're little grains of rice. And now the proof is out about those chips. A bunch of people in Australia, an announcement was made on Derek's call last night. A bunch of people in Australia are being chipped with these RFID chips. It's like $150. A lot of them are being chipped, and they're chips that are as small as a grain of rice. So there's proof out there of this stuff. This technology does exist. If people have chips in them, the pain is a lot more fierce, from these electromagnetic frequency weapons or directed energy weapons. The patents are out there for directed energy weapons. The patents are out there for V2K, voice to skull, which is an RF frequency. It's a radio frequency. First it goes into a microphone or a sound program or something like that. Then it goes through an RF modulator because it's a radio frequency. It goes through an RF modulator that's then converted into a microwave frequency that is shot into somebody's ear or actually into their auditory cortex. So the science behind this is out there. The Navy has been developing stuff for years to go ahead and send out a radar signal and ping somebody's biofrequency. If they get your biofrequency for your brain, it's like a fingerprint, and then they can send out a radar signal for that biofrequency and surveil you even without chips. So the technology for this exists, and I was just watching a lot of his videos, so it's on my mind right now. I really I kind of want to document just what's happening to my body. The back of my spine's being heated up. They really don't like me, and they really want to shut me up. Not because I think I'm special, because I just talk about it like this. Like I'm not even that linear. I'm going back and forth. Like it feels like my brain has been boiled. Like that's what it feels like. You can look at my eyes. My eyes do not look healthy. They look like they're like what do you call it? They're not what do you call it when your pupil enlarges? It's not like that. They're constricted. They're constricted because there's a lot of pain around my head. So I want to get how I look and how I talk. Document it down, what I've been kind of looking at, what I do. Like I'm just sitting there right now in the condo, and my mom believes me about this. Like she believes it's happening, but she doesn't know how bad it is. She doesn't understand how bad or how big it is. So she's talking to me and she's like, so what are you going to do? You're going to move out of the condo? Because I have my dog there. And she doesn't really, when she comes and lives there, she doesn't want the dog there. And it's like I'm being murdered. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure something out. So she's trying to kind of help me to find maybe a trailer or something in Florida away from people. Because if I'm away from people, then I can say, okay, it's just remote. They're not getting people around me. And the reason why they get people around you, to people who think that's a conspiracy theory, is there's a lot of money involved. They put like over like 7 to 10 years with me, they've put so much money in it. It wasn't like they had all this money, millions of dollars at the beginning of my torture and said, hey, we're going to spend all these millions of dollars on this little kid. What they did is I came to the program. It was because people were annoyed with me. They started shooting the high frequency sound. Then more people started getting involved. Then it started growing, and they started spending more money each day, and they started getting money to torture me because the directed energy weapon program connected to the DoD, getting money from these private interests and private armies, private mercenary groups. And they started making a lot of money, but also spending a lot of money in the state. These DHS fusion centers to patrol me as a person of interest. There's a lot of money going out. There's a lot of money coming in. So over that 7 years, the 7 years that I've known I've been targeted, that I've known something is going on with me, they've spent a lot of money, probably millions of dollars. Not because like I'm like a 007 or, I'm the Messiah, or I'm a special guy who's gonna, take down evil, just because they're spending money on me, because this technology interacts with my biological brain and my body, and they've built on that. They've built on that and harassed me and tracked me. And it's more about playing with the technology. It's more about this guy. He wants to keep his hands on this technology. He wants to make money from it. He's doing a service for these private companies that are attached to the DoD, and he's doing a service for the DoD. They're finding out what this does to somebody's brain, if they can, put, maybe an image of a map of a place in a soldier's brain so he can know more, and that it wouldn't give him cancer. So they're really laying into these civilians and doing it a bunch to them, and hurting them with it, to say like, oh, when's this going to cause cancer in them? How are they going to react if we really lay it on there? Because then they want to take it out into war, and they want to have V2K going into a soldier's ear saying, go left. There are enemies over to the left. So there are good things that are going to come out of it, but they could have been done by a volunteer. Like, I know that I'm being hit with this technology. I know pretty much, I've studied, it's out in the public what these RF signals, remote neural monitoring can do to the brain. And I know that I'm being targeted, yet they still target me and spend money on me. They could get a volunteer to do what I'm doing right now, to know that they're being targeted, to drive around on the street, to surveil them going to places. They could get a volunteer to do exactly what I'm doing, because I'm aware that I'm being targeted. Now, the danger is they do this to a lot of people who do not know they're being targeted. I think for a couple of years, I was targeted and did not even know, because you're not looking for it. I had pain in my left side, my jaw, for a long time, and then the back of my neck, and that the ELF beams could have done that. I've had some weird dreams in the past. So even in my situation, I think I was targeted for a long time before I even realized it. And that's the danger, because you have people who, they wouldn't even know what was going on. They wouldn't even know, if a phrase or an image was put into their brain that was not them. They'd be like, oh, maybe I've changed. And it could be a really bad image that they're like, well, maybe I'm a bad person now. So there's a lot of dangers to this. It's really real. And I especially want to tell intelligent people who don't believe in it, and really plead with them. This is killing people, innocent men, women, and children. I mean, they're testing it out on children, of every age, and women. And on Derek's call, there was a woman who went and tried. She had a court case going, and they threw out a lot of her medical records and misreported it. There's so much corruption that's trying to protect this program in the interest of national security, because they're lying about the private interests and stuff like that, and they're just saying, well, this is the DOD doing it, so national security, we're doing this for our soldiers and stuff like that. And they're shooting down a lot of these court cases that target individuals are bringing in, because they're being experimented on. The bottom line is we're being experimented on, but then, because of the unaccountable nature of the program, these people take it away, and if somebody's speaking out about it, or, they're really doing a lot of good activism, they're like, well, we just got to get rid of this person. So it's become so corrupt and unaccountable that these weird things that people who maybe don't believe in conspiracy theories are seeing. This is what happens with the unaccountable, hidden nature of the program that was made to experiment with these frequencies and stuff, and it's being given to people who do not qualify to even be scientists, much less genocidal, committing genocide, murdering families. People that were in the army do not qualify to kill somebody in their sleep. They just don't qualify. Nobody does. The president doesn't qualify to do that. Like the Queen of England doesn't qualify to do that. Nobody qualifies to do that. Especially some lady from Walmart who worked at Walmart. So because of its unaccountable and hidden nature and how they're just trying to get it done, they get desperate and they do a lot of weird stuff. So a lot of the things these target individuals talk about, they say, well, this person's doing this to me, they're harassing me. It's probably true in a lot of cases. A lot of cases, the target individual gets very sensitized. They think everybody is harassing them. But in a lot of cases, it's true, because what they want to do, they'll tell these DHS fusion centers out on the street to do something weird to you because you're crazy or something like that. But what the center wants to do, that's hitting with these directed energy weapons, they want to make you look crazy. So they want you to go to your family